Your pricing is wrong and it is costing you more than you know. More than 90% of founders are making mistakes that are tanking their revenue. In this video, I will show you how to evaluate your problems and your pricing models and finally how to fix them. Now, here's the thing about most founders. Most founders will price their product or service according to the cost and they will put a markup on top equals price. This does not show what the true value of the product or service is. They're scared of losing customers, so they charge too cheap and they will never experiment with price changes and price increase. This causes them to leave a lot of revenue on the table and that can tank your business. Imagine losing 5 to 10 times of your revenue every single month because of certain mistakes that can be taken care of within the first month itself. Now the question is, why does this matter? It is very simple. Pricing is the easiest lever to increase your revenue. Now think about this in plain simple math. If you are increasing 10% of your prices with the same number of customers, you will have a 10% increase in revenue. This is usually easier than increasing your customer base by another 10%. But most founders will not optimize for this because, in simple words, they are scared. And that exact fear is costing you tens of thousands of dollars. So we will go through 5 things in this video. Number 1 is the biggest pricing mistake that most founders make. Number 2 is to understand if you and your business are making those mistakes. Number 3, the psychology behind pricing. Number 4, how to set up a framework to introduce new pricing. And number 5, how to test the new pricing without losing customers. This video is for absolutely everyone. If you have a product or a service in the market and you're not giving it away for free, then you should stick around because I will probably help you increase your revenue. Now, coming back to the biggest mistake, most founders will always think that pricing is a simple task. They will always calculate whatever the business is costing them. They will produce a markup on top and then that is your price. But this is not the correct way of doing it. So let's talk about the biggest mistake most founders are making. They follow cost-based pricing. My product costs $100. I will charge a 50% markup on top. $150 is what it will cost my end user. A $50 increase on a $100 product sounds amazing, right? Wrong. Just remember, your customer doesn't care about the cost of your product, your infrastructure, your salaries, your rent, or whatever it may be. They care about what value they get from the product or from the services that they are signing up for. At the end of the day, for your end user, it is all about return on investment. If you are able to provide value on a product or a service, then you should charge more. It's as simple as that. Another way to look at it will be that you are charging the end customer $150, but they may be able to pay upwards of $500 on that product. You're simply leaving $350 on the table with just one customer. And you multiply it by X number of customers, and then you multiply it by 12 to get the annual loss that you're taking on each product, on each SKU. Another thing to keep in mind is that pricing signals quality. If you are pricing it below the market, thinking that it will get you a lot of customers, you may be wrong about it. Because premium products demand premium pricing. So people are ready to pay for value and you are not taking it your way. So this will signal to them that perhaps your product or service is inferior compared to the others in the market. Let's take an example of a very good friend of mine who has faced the same issues. He is a SaaS founder who priced his product at $29 a month. Do you know why? Because his infra cost and running cost per customer was coming to about $10. So he charged a markup of $19 on top. This sounds like a very good profit, right? But no, the truth is that his market was not price sensitive. They were ready to pay upwards of $79 a month for it, and he was losing $50 per customer per month. Then what does he do? He raises his price to $79 a month where it should have been from day one. He loses about 10% of his customers, those customers who were not even his true market. He loses about 10% customers but gets a massive increase in his revenue. That is the perfect example of correct pricing. This is how you will be able to multiply your revenue in whatever field you may be in. So there are about 4 main pricing models that we follow. So let me break it down one by one. Model 1 is the mistake model, which is cost-based pricing. They will use a benchmark of whatever their product cost to them. They will add a markup on top of it, and then that is the price that they were charging their customers. This is what beginners use. Never use it, never go this route, because this does not reflect your true value. The next model is competitor-based pricing. You price according to your competitors. Now this becomes a race of the pricing. This is commoditized. This does not reflect the true value or the differentiation between you and your customer. And it becomes a race till the end, who can tank their prices down to gain a lot of customers. But what happens in the end? If you don't have a massive scale, then you will definitely lose this war. So one simple tip will be, don't price like your competitors, price better than them. So model number 3 is value-based pricing. In this, your pricing reflects the true value it brings into the end user's lives. It may be through a product or a service. Here's the general formula. Your customer's ROI minus the risk is the pricing you should charge from them. Let's take an example. If you're a service business and you save your customer $10,000 a year, you should be able to charge anywhere from $2,500 a year to about $5,000 a year. This is how you will be taking a piece of the pie that you are creating for them. Let's take a reverse of this example. Let's say you're a service business who is actually in the revenue generation business, and you're generating your customer $50,000 of revenue each year. Then you're eligible to take anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 of that revenue. So it is a piece of the pie that you're creating. The next model is tier-based pricing. You may have different slabs with different features in your service. This again usually works in the service or the SaaS ecosystem. Like you will have a starter price, then a tier 1, tier 2, which can be a small business price, and then tier 3, which is an enterprise level software, which you're providing with all features unlocked. Now, why does this work? Different customers may have different needs, so you are capitalizing on their need. Again, this is about value creation and value proposition. If you're giving a certain value, then you're expecting something in return as well. So this tiering is based on value creation as well. The starter may be free or may be costing the minimum, provides the minimum amount of value to the end user. Then comes the mid tier. This can be upon usage or the number of features that you're enabling for them. And then top is the enterprise level. The enterprise may have a better budgeting as well. So tier levels works well for budgeting reasons as well, because you will be working around with startups as well and with bigger companies. So in this manner, you will be able to extract maximum amounts of value for the service you are providing. The best part is this will get new customers in the door. They might see that there is a tier that is costing less, so the risk factor reduces significantly. So you will get new customers through the door, and if the tiers are positioned right and they see an increase in value from going from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3, you will see your revenues grow drastically as people will shift from tier 1 to tier 2 and then eventually to tier 3. How do you know if you are underpriced, if your product or your service is underpriced? Here are 5 signs. The number 1 sign is that no one is complaining about your pricing. No one is saying that you're too expensive in this field. I'll give you a real life example. Now, this is an example of the sporting ecosystem. We entered a new market in that area. People were usually charging $99. We came in, got better coaches, got better infra, and started charging $299 a month. What happened at the end? Some people were complaining, but there was a significant rise in the number of customers and a significant rise in our revenue. This only happened because people realized that we were the premium option in that area. They understood that what we were bringing to the table, no other competitor was, and therefore they were happy to pay that extra price. The second sign is that your customer base is too diverse. You also have students in your customer base, and you also have enterprise users in your customer base. That is great. You are bringing value to everyone. But the problem is you are probably pricing it the same for the students and the enterprise users. That is an issue because you're leaving a lot of revenue on the table. Segment it into tiers. The students will pay the same pricing and the enterprise has to pay up. In this, you have to increase certain usages or certain products that you may have to increase for the enterprise users, but this will generate a lot more revenue for you at the end of the day. The next sign is that you're growing, but you're not getting richer. You have a growing customer base, but the problem is you're getting burnt out because you have no money to reinvest. The easiest solution in this case is increase your pricing by 20 to 30%, lose some customers, but get richer in the process. The next sign is you're competing on price. You're always the person who charges the least. That is how you retain your customer. You are in a race to the bottom and nobody ever wins. The easiest solution is stop competing on price and start competing on value and the differentiation that you may have in the market. When people understand the value you're bringing and there's no longer a competition on price, it becomes a competition on the value that you provide to the end user. What happens eventually is that you increase your prices and you increase your customer base as well. In this, it is usually a narrative problem. You have to market not the pricing, but the values you're bringing in. So change the marketing and change the branding of your products. And the final sign is you haven't tested a pricing increase in the last 6 months. It is not an inflation problem alone. Inflation alone justifies a pricing increase. But throughout the 6 months to 1 year, you have definitely worked on your product as well. If you have worked on your product, apart from the inflation bit, the value proposition is added to it and it justifies a price increase. So if you're hitting any of these signs, you're probably underpriced, and I think by a lot. Now, let's talk about the psychology behind pricing, because understanding this will change everything for you and your business. Principle number one is price anchoring. The first price you show your potential customers is the price they will evaluate your other tiers from. Let's say you have a 3-tier price list, a $49 a month, a $99 a month, and a $299 a month. In this scenario, the $99 a month seems like an incredible deal with added values. In this scenario, the middle tier seems reasonable because that is where you've anchored it. Using this principle, more people will pick the tier you want them to pick. Let's take an example. Let's take the same bracketing, 49, 99, and let's change it up a little and take 199. In this scenario, you will see 70% will pick 99. Let's change this up a little. Let's add some more values. Let's tweak up the offer a little, and let's change the tiering from 49 to 199 and from 99 to 299, and the biggest tier will be 999. In this case, you will see about 60% will choose the model that goes for 299 because that is your anchoring. That is where they will see most value in whatever you're offering. Principle number two, the decoy effect. In this, again, you have 3 pricing, but one is obviously far worse than the rest of them. So people avoid the far more expensive option and they will gravitate towards the middle option. Most people will gravitate towards the option that is priced between the two. So design your pricing like the tier you want them to buy is the obvious choice. So a starter tier, let's say 49. The middle tier, where you want them to buy $99 a month, and the outrageous one can be $599 a month. But guess what? You will still have some people who will go for that outrageous pricing as well because they think that will offer the best value. In this manner, you will get a boost to your revenue count. The decoy effect is so powerful that it showcases that you're offering a similar set of values for far less prices, and they think that this is the best value to go for, even if it is more than what the industry is charging, because you are giving better values. Then you do not compete against others, you compete amongst the 3 options you are giving your customers. Principle number 3 is risk reversal. Remove the risk from the perspective of a customer. This can be either through free trials, or money back guarantee, or a satisfaction guarantee, or whatever you may have in mind. This results in higher perceived value and better conversions. Let's say an example. I know a personal trainer who used to charge $500 upfront for a body transformation. Later, he changed the offer to $500 upfront or 50% off if you don't hit your X goal. This resulted in a massive boost of sales. The only reason is that the customers thought there was less risk in going with this service. Principle number 4 is the scarcity and urgency principle. I use it all the time. In this, you create offers like limited seats only, limited period offer. This creates urgency in the minds of your potential customers. Now let's look at the framework. These 7 steps will help you price your product or service correctly. The number 1 step is understanding your customer's problem. Try to understand how much is this problem costing them? How much time is it costing them? What is the opportunity in this field? How much a customer is willing to pay if you solve this problem in an X amount of time? Once you understand what they're willing to pay, that is usually your price ceiling. Step 2. Research willingness to pay. You survey your customers, you understand what is the price bracket where they will definitely buy. What is the price bracket where they will think that the product is inferior, and what is the price bracket where they will hesitate a little before purchasing your service or product. This survey of potential customers will shock you as to what they're actually willing to pay and what you were thinking of charging them. Step number 3 is positioning your product. Is it premium? Is it luxury? Is it daily use? Is it basics? What is it? If you're positioned as luxury and exclusive, your product or your pricing should reflect that. You can't be both premium and cheap. You have to pick one and stick with one option. Step number 4 is set your base price. Usually take the ceiling and then you subtract for all the frictions and objections you may have in terms of value your product brings. Whenever you add value, you add the price up a little. In this manner, you will have the perfect place to price your product. Also keep in mind that you don't want to just price according to whatever your cost is plus margin, as we had mentioned earlier, but it has to be according to the value you're bringing to the table. Let's say, for example, if you're making customer $100,000 a year, you are expected to charge upwards of $20,000 to $25,000 a year minimum. This gives them massive ROIs and it makes you a profit as well. Step number 5, create a tier list if it is applicable to your product. Understand how much value can be given for an X amount of price. It can be a 2-tier or a 3-tier list. Usually a 3-tier list is better. You can get the people in the door at a smaller price and then slowly you can graduate them to tier 2 and then slowly graduate them to tier 3 to create a waterfall in your revenue. Each segment will target a specific kind of clientele. It can be anywhere from an individual, a student, a small business, a startup, or to an enterprise level. So keep in mind that you want to capture as much of the audience and as much of the market as possible, but you also want to capture as much revenue as possible. The tiering system helps you do that. Step number 6 is you test and iterate. You run an A/B test with your old pricing and your new pricing. If your business is completely new, take your ceiling, start running an A/B test. Start running a price, one higher and one lower. See how your revenue numbers are working up, how your conversions are working up. If you are taking a hit on the conversions but your revenue numbers are going up, that pricing system is working for you. Step number 7 is to increase gradually but regularly. Raise your prices 10 to 20% each year. Older customers can be grandfathered into the older pricing so they stay at whatever they were paying earlier, but new customers pay the newer price. So this will get you a lot more revenue for the newer customers for whatever conversion they're coming in. And slowly and steadily, you also increase the pricing, but at a lower percentage for the older customers, the loyal customers who are staying with you for the longer run. Why do we test it with the new customers first? Because once the new customers are accepting this price change, then you can slowly and steadily introduce it to the older customers. So what do you need to do right now? So here are some action steps you can take right now to understand and increase your revenue by a simple price change. So your first action has to be to audit your current pricing. What kind of value is it offering? Is it a value-based pricing or is it a cost plus markup-based pricing? Audit your pricing, audit your revenues, and audit your customer numbers. Try to understand if you can articulate the value you're creating. If no, then you're probably underpriced. Action number 2 is calculate your price ceiling. You have to understand how much revenue you're bringing into the table or how much money you're saving your customers. Then you can charge 20 to 50% of whatever you're saving them or making them. Action number 3 is to test your price increases on a regular basis. Increase your pricing by 10 to 20%. Do it for new customers or run an A/B test, see where your conversions are landing, and slowly and steadily, if it is accepted by the newer customers, you see an uptick in revenue, then you can introduce those pricing to your older customers as well. And finally, implement tiers. Implement a freemium model if it's required to get customers in the door for you, or a starter tier, then a mid-level tier, and finally an enterprise tier. This will boost your revenue. And now you are ready to take the challenge of increasing your prices, to price your product or service better and see your revenues increase like crazy. Here are some common objections that you may have. I know that you are thinking that, what if my customers go away? You will see a 10 to 20% drop in customers. These are the price sensitive customers who will definitely go away. These kind of customers are not your target audience from day one itself. You will see an increase in the revenue with these customer drops as well. You will see more loyal customers stay within the company and help you and your brand grow on a regular basis. You may also ask, but my competition is priced cheaper. Don't compete on pricing, compete on value and differentiation. If you are creating a lot of value for your customers, try to just improving your product, and then you can improve your prices accordingly. It is important that you don't compete on pricing. It is a race to the bottom, and trust me, no one ever wins this. You may also say that, hey, I'm really scared to increase prices. Do a test first. Run an A/B test where you first increase on new customers. Once the new customers are accepting the new pricing, then slowly and steadily you can introduce it with your older customers. This way you don't see a drop in your existing customer base. But if you are scared to increase your prices, this already means that you are underpriced. I am 100% sure that if you're scared that you might lose your customers, or if you have a competition who's pricing it better than you, you're already pretty underpriced. So take the leap of faith, try to run some tests and get your revenue numbers booming. What if you're asking, I am not getting any sales? Then reduce your pricing a little by 10 to 15%. You may be overpriced. If you're still not getting any sales, then it is time to work on your branding and marketing skills. Keep in mind that most founders will upshoot, not overshoot. So if you're having issues with sales, then you have to work a little on the branding, positioning, and marketing side of things as well. And finally, here's what most founders don't think about. A higher pricing also means higher margins for you to reinvest in your business. This means it may be priced more, but you have a better customer acquisition cost. You can spend more for more customers. This will mean a better branding opportunity for you. This will mean better overheads for you. This will mean you can really spend more to develop your product more, give more value, and then charge more. An increase in margin also means better money for your R&D. You can spend more to improve your product, your services. This means you be even further ahead of the rest of your competition. In this manner, you will dominate your field and you will have the better product, the best price, and the best revenue in the field. We aren't even talking about the psychological bonus this brings. This puts you in the premium category. You are charging a premium with better margins. You can spend more for customer acquisition on those performance advertising. But at the end of the day, people think of your product as of value, a premium product, an exclusive product. So here's another way of looking at it. If you want to win, if you want to scale, you want your business to be successful, the number one thing to do is to price it correctly. I can't emphasize this enough. Your pricing will make or break your business. So keep in mind that your pricing is the key to your success. This increase will define if you have a real business or if you will hustle for the rest of your life. So a quick recap. Don't price according to your cost. Price according to the value. Increase pricing gradually. Test the pricing. and understand the psychology behind pricing and the models of the pricing. Use tiering whenever applicable. Use a decoy pricing whenever applicable. These certain steps will help you increase your pricing and increase your revenue numbers. If I missed something in the recap, just go back into the video, watch it once, watch it twice, build your plan according to your business. If you've enjoyed this content so far, don't forget to like and subscribe this video. I will see you on the other side.